Hey, what's up, guys? This is Efren for the Wake Up Agency, and today we're going to talk about 8 awesome marketing tips. And we're going to talk about how everything works and how can you engage with more customers. So first of all, you always have to understand your customer, who you're going to target, why do you targeting it, and why do you have to sell that product to that person. And I'm not a big believer on selling, but honestly, I kind of am. But the best selling tactic is to educate your customer. Educating your customer will give you a lot more value without explaining so many things or trying to sell them so bad and have a long-term relationship with this customer. So you always have to look at it as a good building relationship instead of a quick buck. Always build that relationship with the customer. Don't try to unvalue yourself. Give value to yourself, even though you work a little bit more. But in the end, the long term, you're going to be working a lot less. So that's it. That's the first topic that I want to talk about. The second topic is the second tip is the shorter subject lines. Always understand that you have to be straight to the point. You can't be giving a whole paragraph talking about something so simple. You have to simplify everything, and you can explain a lot more on a video, on some graphic designing, or whatever you want to do. But content and a video would be a lot better than just text. So you have in the video you have more engagement, or in audio you have a lot more engagement with the customer. So now they understand you, who you are, or kind of know your personality, and that's what it is. Like me talking to you is, my personality. I'm kind of giggly, laughing, and everything. I like to interact with people. So if you're interested in getting into a podcast, I'll be gladly to put you in the podcast too. So second of all, outdoor advertising. Honestly, I'm not a huge believer on it, but it's still out there. It's gonna happen. But I think that's good for billboards. It gives you a lot more value. A lot of people look at you more serious now, but it's a waste of money, to be completely honest. You'll see that waste of money because you're just not gonna get no customers. But you'll see a lot of people looking at it and give you more value. They'll be like, hey, I seen you over there, but they would never call you. Social media has a lot more power to it, and it's a lot more cheaper, and you get a lot more engagements. And what I mean about that, there might be thousands of people watching when you're passing the road and they see your billboard. But in Facebook, on social media, you have over 10,000 people, 40,000 people, and you're paying a lot more money to get those engagements, and you get those communications, and you get phone numbers, you get contacts and everything, and you start building the relationship with the customer as well. So social media, I recommend it. Outdoor marketing, it's a 50-50, but I still recommend it once in a while. It depends on your business. So engaging on your social media, you have to engage with these customers. You have to communicate with these customers. Don't be those people that just look at the message and not respond. You have to engage with them, even though if it's a bad perspective, a good perspective, a worse perspective, and they're putting a bad feedback. Respond to any situation, even if it's gonna come out bad. You have to respond, but don't respond in a bad way. But respond if it's like a bad situation. You're like, hey, I'm sorry for what's going on. I'll be glad to help you. Give them an option. Always give them 3 options, because those 3 options are going to convert to 1 option. So make sure to do that. Explore SEOs. I explore SEOs. You have to figure out what's the keywords, what's going on with the keywords, what's the best keyword for you. So there's a lot of investigating with social media marketing. It's not just one click button. Okay, there's a blue button right there. Let me click it and it's going to give me clients. It doesn't work like that. You still have to investigate. You still have to learn your clients. You have to learn your market. You have to understand how they work, who's engaging, who likes, who's liking this, who's liking that. So there's a lot of investigation. And SEO still gives you a 60% above, or it gives you a 67% more than a regular ad without SEO. So you see the difference is 67% more than not having an SEO. Send a clear message. Always send a clear message to a customer. Make it straightforward. Don't overcomplicate stuff, because people want to kind of brainwash people to overcomplicate a lot of stuff. So be simple, understand the client, know what they want, and be clear. You're like, hey, you know what? Listen, example, I'm selling the car. You're like, hey, I got this car. Well, I'm not interested in this car. I don't like this car. Don't be a salesman and try to push them as much as you can to get that car, to buy that car. Look what they got. Look what they're looking for, and try to find the best thing for them, because now you're not selling them. Now you're showing the product, and now you're educating the product, and they're going to buy it without you trying to sell them. They're going to sell themselves. So education is the key for success. Education is the key for sales. A lot of people say key is the key of success, and it is, because it converts to a sale automatically. You're not selling, you're not losing the client, and now that client feels happy because you fully educated the customer for how it works. So now you're giving that education to a customer. I'm a big believer in education and sales. So do that, educate. Run a competition. So what I think about competition, I don't believe in reading competition, but I believe on modeling. What is modeling? Means that you're kind of understanding what's working, what's not, from their type of website, their type of marketing, their type of tactics. So you have to learn, but twist it up in your own flavor. So don't ever copy someone else because they're doing it, because now they're going to see you as a copycat. But you could always twist it up on your own type of words, your own type of vibe. So make sure to keep those tactics on yourself. So competition, don't really think about it. Just kind of like model what they do, but don't be trying to compete with them, because in the end, you're gonna be competing with them and you're not gonna grow. Whatever he grows, you're gonna compete with them. Whenever he goes down, you're gonna compete with them, even though if he goes down. So remember, competition doesn't really matter. Competition doesn't help. What matters is being consistent. That's the tip number 8. Consistently, you have to be consistently with your content, with the creation, with engaging with customers. Be consistent on all these topics that I gave you. Be consistent with, let me start from the beginning. Consistent from understanding your customer. You always have to be consistent understanding your customer. Be consistent with shorter subject lines, because you don't want to overcomplicate a lot of stuff. Be consistent on advertising all the time. I don't believe in outdoor marketing or outdoor advertising. So you can try it out if you want, but I wouldn't really recommend it, because I've tried it before and it doesn't work. So engage on social media. Be consistent in engaging with social media. Be engaging with your customer. I know sometimes it gets overwhelming, but be consistent. Try to take 5 minutes of your time and just send a message. That's all you need to do. Explore SEOs and search keywords. Search what keywords are working. What SEOs you can do. What SEO tactics can you do? Who can you hire? All these type of categories that I'm telling you, this is all the stuff that I do. And I'm explaining to you just topics. These are basic topics for me. So I have a lot more depth, more information to get in, but that's something, if you want to talk about, we have to consult with that, because everybody has a different plan. Everybody has a different view of business. So I always work with your type of goal, and we build up a strategy for your goal. Competition, you can be consistent with competition, but I don't believe on that either. And consistent, just be consistent, period. Be consistent on whatever you do. Don't let nothing happen. Don't let nothing stop you, but be consistent on whatever you're doing. Even if it's 5 minutes a project, 10 minutes a project a day, that's all it takes. Just a little bit of time of you doing this is going to help you a lot more. So guys, if you guys have any questions, you can comment below, send me a message, DM me. You have my podcast here, and I hope these little marketing tips will help you, because I understand marketing is getting more complicated and it just seems like overwhelming. Why do you have to pay an over marketing campaign, or why do you have to pay so much money on a Facebook ad? It's all tactics, it's all strategies, but the value you're going to get is always going to be the social media marketer specialist will provide you the best strategies for your goal. So remember that, guys. These are just a few tips that I showed you, and this is a few tips that I can provide you. So guys, thank you for checking out this podcast. You guys are awesome.